I thought I'd finish for the day, well, at least filming and blathering. But here we got a hedge line just along here where you haven't got canopy trees overhanging. You've got what I would call a prograding edge. So the edge of the woodland, personified by the hedge, which here contains elm. This is English elm. That's a sucker. Original mother trees would have been long gone back in the 60s and early 70s, felled by Dutch elm disease, but the root system would have survived. And every so often it puts up suckers. They keep the root system nourished, and once they get big enough, the elm bark beetle finds them, and Dutch elm disease has another little go on a smaller scale. This is blackthorn, Prunus spinosa, and in here, ooh, we ought to know what this is, this climber. I think it's bryony, like a bryan. No, not quite. And you've also got other forbs along the edge, because the cattle nibble this, as will the deer of a night. You can see me nibbling here, and that protects things growing up in the hedge base. So you've basically got this wonderful wall of vegetation with all sorts of things in it, like herb robert, this pink plant which you'll get inside the wood, and speedwell, which tends to need clearings. And this is herb robert's seed heads. That's a geranium, Geranium robertianum. And speedwell, there's several different species. There's a veronica. You might have heard of veronicas in your garden. But this is lovely. And there'll be opportunities for birds to nest in here. And the May blossom this year is wonderful. And this was live with blossom earlier in the year, which is now completely gone. It's difficult to find a remnant. And what I was looking for as I walked up to where I'm going to pick up this wood and walk it out down to the van. Do a little bit every time I come up here, in case I can't get it in the winter. As you can see, the flora, the flowers of May, visited by bees, visited by flies as well. It's got a strategy, I believe, I read years ago, of mixed pollinating species, so it's not entirely dependent on bees. And if you smell it, it doesn't smell terribly flowery. It smells a little bit off. And that's basically, I think, probably to attract flies as well as bees. And what happens is, when it gets pollinated, the stamens change colour and then the petals change colour. They go pink, they get flushed. They blush with embarrassment because they've had their sex. Can I say that on YouTube? And if you look at these ones, there are two species in Britain. This is Crataegus monogyna, Crataegus hawthorn, and you might be able to see with the GoPro that the stamen in the middle is singular. There are several lobes on it, but it's only got one stalk, so it sticks up like that in the middle. When it produces its berry, it has one seed in it. The other species is Crataegus oxycanthoides, the Midland hawthorn. It's much less common, and it's an ancient woodland indicator. The leaves, instead of being dissected like this, see they're really lobed, although they're variable. Midland hawthorn has much more entire leaves, so less frilly almost. Now, I had hoped to find some here along the edge of this woodland, because this is an ancient woodland, and I'd almost bet that it's here. But this is the tree that was planted for hedging, because it's not called quickthorn, quick meaning live in Old English, for nothing. You can do almost anything to it. You can lay it, you can pleach it, you can coppice it, and it will continue to grow, and it will be spiny. It produces genuine thorns, which are dwarf shoots. Not particularly on here, there's one. You can see it. So a genuine thorn is produced from a dwarf shoot. You can see where the little branchlets come up and it stops in a thorn. Thorns on roses are not thorns on brambles. Those are enations, E-N-A-T-I-O-N-S. Wind started blowing. And they are outgrowths of the epidermis. This is a rose. And you can see the little enations starting up. So, two different hawthorns in Britain. One is an ancient woodland indicator. Right, call it quits at that because it started to blow suddenly. I still haven't got a dead cat. Thank you very much.